Good afternoon and welcome to my backyard. Just have a quick project for you here. It's a compost bin that I put together. I wanted something that looked pretty nice, so I wasn't really interested in the pallet built system, although, I guess with some care you could get there. And I wanted it a little bigger than the standard, assemble kit kind of a compost thing. I wasn't really interested in stick building it. The 4x4s and the 1x it seemed like it was going to get a little bit massive. So what I did was I picked up one of the kits. There's a pretty interesting system. It's got dovetails. In fact, I've got the parts here. The corner pieces look like this. They're 3x3 or so. And then there's a dovetail on the slats, and they just slide in there. It's a pretty nice system. And, so you can assemble the system pretty quickly just out of the materials they send. Now, they have a couple sizes. They've got 4x4 by 31 and 3x3 by, I don't know, maybe it's 31, maybe it's less. So what I wanted was a 4x4 by 4, and I wanted a double. They make singles and doubles. What I bought was I bought two 4x4 individuals, and that gave me some extra posts. And then I cut the posts in half, just 3 of them, so that gave me 5 half posts. Drilled a hole in the center and a matching hole on the other side. And then I spun in one of those double-ended lag bolts, right? It's got a lag bolt on both sides. And with a vice grip, I spun it halfway in and then spun it to the other side. So they're lag bolted together end to end. And then I made the slats line up such that they were just halfway between, right? So they also bridged the gap between the two corner posts. And that allowed me to just stack this thing up one level. And I ended up with a 48-inch high 4x4 by 4 double binned system. Now I had almost enough slats to do the doors here, a couple of 1x4s here at the end, but I used just standard kind of gate making design on the inside here. Just some 1x4 stuff, cedar, with diagonal here to carry the weight. I used a standard gate hinge. This just lifts off if you want to. And then to give a place for that hinge is another lag bolt, kind of a pin that goes in. I added 2x4 cedar on the edge, just right on the edge to give it a little stiffness here. Put some screws in down the center to hold it together. So it's nice and stiff. It's got enough resistance for the gate. Might have to lift it a little bit, but that's good farm technology, right? And a standard gate latch on it. And it holds it together very well. So that's how I made my 4x4 by 4 double bay compost bin. It's really very affordable. I couldn't have bought the materials for what it costs to get those two kits. And it went together pretty smoothly in just half a day or something. So I hope that helps somebody. If you're interested in composting, I can comment a little bit about that. I never really was because I was busy. I had a corporate job, but now I'm retired. And a lot of the compost that you get from the garden centers isn't very good. It's either the horse manure twice used that's very high nitrogen, not a lot of body to it. Or I found a place that was grinding up like Christmas trees and sticks and things, and that was very dry. It didn't have much organic content to it. It was more like wood chips. So this makes a much better quality of compost. And what I'm doing is every fall, I just load all the leaves in here, with the bagger mower. I bag them up and I throw them in here, and I get it nice and tall. And then over the next few days, it'll cook down. And then I'll fill it back up again, and it'll cook down again. I must have done that 6 or 8 times last fall. And I ended up with a stack that was 10 inches over the top. And that, over the winter, that cooked down pretty far. And then this spring, when the grass is growing like crazy, I'd bag the grass and I'd stir the grass in, right? Which is a little tricky. You got to figure out how to manage you move this over to here and over to there, and you stir the grass in while you're going. It's a little bit of work, but heck, I need the exercise, right? So a few minutes with a pitchfork. Maybe I spend an hour with a pitchfork, and I've got the grass mixed in. And I'll tell you, it works pretty well. I've got my little thermometer in here. This is a compost thermometer just from Amazon. And it's sitting on the one that I just put together, and it's sitting at 154 degrees right now. This one I haven't touched in a little while. This one's got more leaves, a little less grass. And that one was a little bit cooler. But you can put your hand on it, and it's warm to the touch. So I just have it grab a little garden scraper like this, and I just lift up a little corner. I throw the kitchen scraps in there. See, there's a banana peel from a couple weeks ago, right? And it pretty much swallows it. It's just amazing how quickly it does. So it's worked out pretty well. If you keep the balance right, carbon to grass, if you keep it dry, the right dryness, not too wet. If it gets wet, it gets too slimy. If it gets too dry, it doesn't cook. So you have to kind of keep an eye on it a little bit. But it pretty much makes compost here out here all by itself. It doesn't smell too bad. And it's a pretty nice system. So hope that helps somebody. We'll catch you on the next project.